Morning light streams through the skyscraper's windows as office workers hurry into the lobby. You can almost feel the buzz of deadlines and coffee. 7 people press the button for the 42nd floor. They exchange polite nods, chatting about meetings and weekend plans. The elevator doors slide open with a gentle ding. Safe, familiar, routine. They step inside, and the doors close with a soft whoosh that suddenly feels final. A chill ripples through the car. The indicator shows 1, then 2, but the floor doesn't change. The hum doesn't rise. The buttons glow, but none light up when pressed. Panic flutters in the air like static. A soft click echoes. The lights flicker. One worker swallows hard. "Did you feel that?" she asks, voice small. Another lifts the phone handset. It's dead. No dial tone. Heartbeats drum against ribs. The elevator breathes around them, waiting. Behind the closed doors, the lobby goes quiet. No footsteps. No chatter. Inside, time pauses. Every face turns pale. 5, then 10 seconds pass. Too long. A low thump resonates from above. Something is moving the car, but not up or down. Just moving. Their breaths catch. Sweat beads on foreheads. The elevator holds its secret. And as the lights settle back into steady glow, a single question hovers. Why won't it let them go? They press the button for the 42nd floor again, hope shining in their eyes. The car shudders, just once, then remains still. A cold draft brushes past them, though every seam is sealed tight. The overhead light hums, growing louder, then cuts out. Darkness presses in, broken only by the faint glow of the emergency light. A man's voice cracks. "Stay calm. I'll try the alarm." He slams his fist on the red button. A shrill bell rings through the shaft but dies quickly, swallowed by silence. Nothing answers. Their phones light up with missed calls and messages, but no bars reach here. They are alone. Suddenly, the car lurches downward. Hearts skip a beat. They cling to the walls as metal grinds above them. The cage drops 2 floors, then jolts back up with a groan. Each movement feels like a heartbeat, slow, painful, unpredictable. The indicator blinks, 14, then 10, then blank. They cannot trust it. A woman presses every button, her fingers trembling. Floor numbers flash and disappear like ghosts. The doors open, just a sliver, but reveal only concrete walls. They recoil, gasping. No lobby, no hallway, just gray stone. One tries to reach through the gap, but metal bars block the way. No escape. A low whisper drifts from the ceiling. It sounds like breath. They freeze, scanning the walls. The whisper grows, a soft chant they cannot understand, yet it pricks at their fear. The emergency light flickers again. Faces emerge in the half-light, wide eyes, pale skin. No one speaks. Then the car tilts to one side. Coffee cups spill. Papers flutter like trapped birds. A man grabs a support rail to stay upright, voice strained. "Hold on." They brace themselves. Gravity pulls harder, pressing them into a single corner. The car swings back. Their breath flies out in one collective gasp. When the car rights itself, the air tastes metallic. The whisper stops. Silence reigns. Each person looks at another, mouths open but no words come. They share one thought. This is no simple breakdown. Something else controls the cage. Something that will not let them leave. Above them, the elevator waits, hungry for their fear. And with every heartbeat, it remembers. They huddle in the corner as the elevator's hum deepens, vibrating through their bones. A soft grinding begins above them, like fingernails scraping concrete. The overhead light pulses once, twice, then steadies. Shapes flicker in the walls, faint reflections that shouldn't be there. One woman swears she sees a handprint smear across the glass panel beside her. A sudden jolt throws them off balance. Papers and briefcases slide across the floor. Their breaths catch as the car shudders, like a living thing settling in for the night. The floor indicator blinks, 23, though they pressed no button. The next moment it switches to 7, then to end. It says, "End," a man whispers, voice barely carrying. The word hangs heavy, as if predicting their fate. Someone presses the button again. Nothing changes. The doors stay shut, silent behind their metal frame. A distant click echoes, like a lock snapping shut. The emergency light dims, leaving only a faint red glow. In that light, the reflections grow clearer. They're not their own faces. Hollow eyes stare back, mouths curved in silent screams. They blink, and the reflections are gone, leaving only their terrified expressions to mirror back. A low groan rolls through the shaft. The elevator tilts forward, then backward as if testing the limits of its cables. They cling to each other, knuckles white. The car drops again, 3 floors this time, with a sickening lurch. Their stomachs rise and fall in unison, breath hitching. When the car stops, it's eerily still. No hum, no grind, only their ragged breathing. A beam of light seams through the crack beneath the doors. It's too bright, too white. It slices across the floor, chasing shadows into every corner. They exchange glances. Something is waiting outside that light. One woman steps forward, curiosity battling fear. She presses her palm to the door's cold metal. Fingers slide into the gap. The light widens, revealing a smooth, polished surface. No hallway, no buttons, nothing but endless brightness. She jerks her hand back, voice trembling. It's like a wall of light. Behind them, the elevator groans and the walls bend inward just enough to keep them trapped. A whisper threads through the space. A single word repeated low and urgent. "Stay." Panic surges. They press together, back to back, searching for strength in numbers. The indicator flickers once more. 3, then 2, then 1. Silence. A soft click and the doors slide open. Not with a ding, but with a hiss, like air escaping. The light floods in and they step forward, compelled. Their hearts pound as they cross the threshold into nothing. A void of white stretches beyond sight. No floor, no walls, only the endless glow. Their feet feel unmoving, as if the light holds them in place. The doors close behind with a whisper, sealing them in. They call out, voices echoing without answer. The brightness pulses, and the elevator's hum returns, low and hungry. In that endless white, they realize they have left the world they know, and the elevator has taken them somewhere new. They stand in the endless white void, breaths shallow, hearts pounding like war drums. The elevator hums behind the closed doors, a distant heartbeat reminding them they're trapped. Every face reflects fear and confusion. No floor beneath, no walls beside, only blinding light. A distant echo drifts through the void, metal scraping metal. It grows louder, closer. They glance at one another, unsure where to look. Emma steps forward, voice barely a whisper. "We have to find a way back." But step forward where? There's no ground, only emptiness. Suddenly, the light dims in a pulsing rhythm, revealing outlines of walls that weren't there before. The void shifts into a long corridor, walls slick and reflective. The elevator doors stand at one end, at the other end a dark archway yawns. The corridor seems impossibly long, too long for their courage. Sarah grips Jacob's arm. "Do we go through?" Her words hang heavy. A low groan rolls along the corridor, like wind through a tunnel. Each pulse of light changes the corridor's length, sometimes shrinking, sometimes stretching, so they can never be sure how far the archway lies. They step forward together, feet sticking to the smooth floor. With each step, the corridor echoes their heartbeat. Emma counts softly, 1, 2, 3. Their shadows stretch and twist, sometimes leading, sometimes lagging, as if alive. Halfway down, the lights flicker out. Darkness swallows them. Panic flares. Mia gasps. No light. Luke fumbles for his phone. No signal. Camera flash dead. Their breaths swirl in the black. Then the lights snap on, but the corridor has changed. The walls are now covered in scratches, deep gouges that weren't there before, and the floor is streaked with muddy footprints, leading backward toward the elevator doors. A whisper drifts along the scratches, "Turn back." It's distant yet clear, as if the walls themselves speak. They freeze. Emma forces calm, voice shaking, "We can't go back. We have to move forward." Her words echo, lost in the corridor's length. They follow the footprints, reasoning that someone came this way before. Each footprint looks fresh, as if made moments ago. The pulse of light slows, then quickens, speeding their steps, speeding their hearts. At last, the archway looms. Darkness beyond, like a mouth opening to swallow them. Sarah's voice trembles. "I don't want to go in there." But Jacob places a hand on her shoulder. "We have to know what's next." Emma steps through first. The air changes, warm and damp, carrying the faint scent of earth. The corridor vanishes. They stand in a cavern lit by glowing fungi on jagged rocks. Water drips from stalactites onto a stone floor slick with moisture. The elevator doors are nowhere in sight. A distant drip echoes like a footstep. They spin, searching for the sound. The cavern stretches into darkness, passages twisting away. The dripping grows faster, heartbeat quick. Then, from the shadows, a figure emerges, tall, featureless, its form shifting like smoke. It tilts its head, listening. Sarah stumbles back. "What is that?" The figure lifts an arm, no hand, just a blur, and points toward a narrow tunnel carved into the rock. The dripping stops. Silence reigns. Luke swallows hard. "It wants us to go there." The figure nods once, then melts back into shadow. The air hums, faint but unmistakable, the same hum of the elevator. They exchange glances, fear flickering, but resolve stronger. Emma steadies herself. We follow. Hand in hand, they step into the tunnel. Behind them, the cavern fades into darkness. Ahead, only the unknown, and the pull of that familiar hum guiding them deeper into the earth. A distant drip echoes through the narrow tunnel as they press on, each footstep stirring up the cold, damp air. The walls close in, rough stone pressing on every side, shadows dancing with each flicker of fear. Sarah's breath catches. "It's so quiet," she whispers. The only answer is their own heartbeats, loud in their ears. They come to a fork. Left passage slopes downward, slick with moisture, the sound of water growing louder. Right passage climbs upward, air thick with stale dust and the faintest hum, like metal cables vibrating. Emma pauses, hand on her flashlight. "Which way?" The stranger figure's guidance echoes in her mind. Forward, always forward. Jacob steps left, following the drip of water. The floor pools beneath his boots, cold seeped through his shoes. Mia follows, water droplets tracing paths down her hair. The tunnel widens into a cavern, walls glistening with moisture. Stalactites hang overhead, and a small stream runs across the floor, leading into a dark pool. A low growl rumbles from the water's depths. They freeze, eyes widening. From the pool's shadow rises a shape, lean, twisted, dripping wet. Its eyes glow faintly, hungry. It moves with water's flow, steps silent on the stone. Sarah stifles a scream, clutching Emma's sleeve. Jacob steadies himself. "We don't want trouble," he says, voice trembling. The creature tilts its head, growl fading into a gurgle. It gestures toward the stream, then back the way they came, as if telling them to turn. Behind them, the hum grows louder, no longer distant. The elevator's pulse calls them back. Fear grips their chest. Emma steps forward. "We can't stay," she says. The creature hovers, droplets falling like tears. Then, with a final gurgle, it sinks back into the pool, disappearing beneath the surface. They exhale, relief and dread intertwined. The passage back narrows. They follow the dripping sound backward. The air warms, and the hum becomes a heartbeat in the walls. Footsteps echo, not theirs, soft, deliberate, guiding them. At the fork, they choose the right passage this time. Climbing upward, the air grows thick, the hum stronger. Each step feels heavier. Suddenly, the tunnel ends at a rusted door, old elevator metal, riveted and worn. A circular window reveals darkness beyond. No buttons, no light. Emma pushes. The door groans open, revealing the elevator car waiting in the shaft. Inside, the familiar metal cage stands with doors ajar, lights off, silent. A cold draft drifts out, carrying the scent of antiseptic and fear. They exchange glances. Sarah steps forward, nods. Together, they enter the car. As the doors close behind them, the hum shifts into a whisper, "Welcome back." The lights flicker on, revealing 7 stunned faces reflected in the mirrored walls. The button panel glows. The indicator reads 5. Above it, a new button blinks, a symbol of a broken circle like the ones from the forest. No floor number. Emma's hand hovers over it. "Do we press?" she asks, voice small. The walls seem to breathe, waiting. A single beep answers. The door has locked. The elevator's hum rises, now unmistakably alive. They realize with a gasp, this ride isn't over. Not yet. The elevator shudders suddenly, a low rumble vibrating beneath their feet. The lights flicker wildly, casting strange shadows that stretch and twist across the walls. Emma's heart pounds in her chest as the car jolts, then moves, upward, but faster than any normal elevator should. The digital floor indicator blinks erratically. 5, 7, then a strange symbol flashes, the same broken circle they saw before. "Where are we going?" Sarah's voice trembles, eyes wide with fear. No one answers. The elevator hums like a living thing, the metal walls vibrating with a cold energy that seeps into their bones. Luke tries pressing the emergency button, but it only emits a harsh buzz, refusing to connect. Suddenly, the elevator stops abruptly. The doors remain closed. Silence fills the space, thick and heavy, until a crackling sound breaks through the stillness. From the speaker above, a faint, distorted voice whispers, "You shouldn't have come back." Chills run down their spines. The voice seems to echo inside their minds, haunting and unnatural. Emma scans the panel. None of the buttons light up anymore except the broken circle symbol, glowing ominously. A sudden flash of light reveals ghostly faces reflected in the mirrored walls. Faces of people they don't recognize, pale and hollow-eyed. They disappear just as fast as they appeared, leaving only the faint scent of damp earth and old memories. Jacob shivers. This elevator, it's not just stuck. It's alive. And it's angry. The humming grows louder, turning into a low growl. The elevator begins to shake again, the metal twisting as if bending to some invisible force. The floor beneath them vibrates, cracking faintly. Emma's breath catches. We need to stay calm and figure out what it wants. But deep down, they all know the elevator's game is far from over. It's a trap, and the next move could be their last. The elevator jolts violently, throwing everyone off balance. The lights flicker in a chaotic rhythm, and the walls seem to pulse, almost breathing. Emma grabs onto the handrail, her knuckles white with tension. The humming sound has grown into a deep, growling roar that fills every corner of the small space. Suddenly, the elevator stops again, but this time, the doors begin to open. Instead of the usual hallway or lobby, they see nothing but thick, swirling darkness. The void seems to pull at them like a hungry shadow waiting to swallow them whole. Sarah steps back, trembling. We shouldn't go in there. But the elevator doors keep sliding wider, inviting, or maybe forcing them forward. A cold wind rushes inside, carrying whispers, soft, unintelligible words that make their skin crawl. Jacob shines his phone flashlight into the darkness, but it's swallowed immediately. The beam flickers as if the darkness itself fights to stay hidden. Suddenly, a cold hand brushes past Emma's arm. She gasps, spinning around, but no one is there. The group huddles together, fear tightening their throats. From the darkness, a faint glow begins to form, an outline of a figure, flickering and unstable, like a broken hologram. It reaches out a translucent hand, pointing back into the elevator. Emma's voice is barely a whisper. It's trying to tell us something. But before they can react, the doors slam shut with a thunderous bang, trapping them once again in the tight metal box. The lights go out completely, and the growling hum becomes a deafening roar. They are alone, trapped inside a possessed elevator, caught between reality and something far darker. The elevator remains plunged in darkness, the only sound a deep, menacing growl that shakes the very air inside the car. Panic rises as the group tries to stay calm, but every breath feels heavy, every second stretched by fear. Emma fumbles for her phone, but the screen is cracked and dead. No signal, no light. Suddenly, the emergency alarm blares, a sharp, piercing sound that feels almost painful. Yet, no one answers their calls for help. The elevator's voice returns, low and chilling, whispering words that make their skin crawl. You cannot leave. The buttons flicker back to life, but the only option glowing is that broken circle symbol. The elevator shudders and moves again, this time downward, into a darkness deeper than before. Jacob tries to open the doors manually, but the metal refuses to budge. The walls seem to close in tighter, the air growing colder with every passing second. Then the whispers start. Soft voices echo around them, repeating their names, calling them one by one. Sarah clutches her chest, tears streaming down her face. Who's there? What do you want? Emma's eyes scan the mirrors lining the elevator, searching for answers. Suddenly, her reflection warps. Her face changes, eyes glowing a terrifying red. She gasps and turns away, heart pounding. The growl deepens, and the elevator lurches violently, sending them crashing to the floor. When they look up, the digital display shows 00, no floors left, no escape. Trapped in a machine with a will of its own, surrounded by shadows and voices, they realize the elevator is not just a cage, it's a living nightmare. And it's not finished with them yet. The elevator comes to a sudden, sharp halt. The lights flicker back on, casting eerie shadows across the terrified faces inside. But something is different. An unnatural silence has fallen. No humming, no growling, just a heavy, suffocating stillness. Emma slowly stands, her legs shaky. She looks around, eyes searching for any sign of escape. The buttons on the panel are all dark, except one. The broken circle symbol glows steadily, pulsing like a heartbeat. It seems to be calling them. Jacob reaches out to press the button, but Sarah grabs his wrist. "Wait," she whispers. "What if it's a trap?" Before they can decide, the elevator jolts again, and the mirrored walls ripple like water disturbed by a stone. Ghostly figures flicker in the reflections, faces twisted in fear, mouths opening in silent screams. The temperature drops suddenly. Breath becomes visible, floating in the cold air. A chilling voice echoes around them. "You can't leave. Not yet." Panic rises. Luke bangs on the door, shouting for help, but his voice sounds distant, swallowed by the metal walls. The group huddles together, their faces pale in the flickering light. Emma's eyes lock on the glowing symbol. "We have to face whatever this is," she says, voice steady despite the fear. "We have to press the button." With trembling hands, Jacob presses the broken circle. The elevator shudders violently, then the doors slowly slide open, not to a floor, but into a swirling vortex of shadows and whispers. A cold wind rushes in, pulling at their clothes and hair. The elevator groans as if alive, ready to pull them inside the darkness. They hesitate, trapped between fear and the unknown, with only one choice left: step forward or be trapped forever. The darkness inside the elevator swirls and twists like a living shadow, pulling them closer to the edge of something they cannot see but deeply fear. Emma's heart races as the cold wind bites at her skin. The others clutch each other tightly, eyes wide with terror. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light fills the elevator. For a moment, they see a place beyond, a twisted, ghostly version of their office building, with broken windows and flickering lights. Figures move in the distance, silent and menacing. Then, everything goes black again. When the lights return, the elevator is still. The doors slowly slide open, revealing the familiar lobby. The rain outside patters softly against the glass. They rush out, gasping for fresh air, trembling but free. Emma looks back once, noticing the broken circle symbol fading from the panel. A cold shiver runs down her spine. They escaped, but the elevator's dark presence lingers, a reminder that some places hold secrets no one should disturb. As they walk away, the elevator hums quietly, waiting for its next victims. Sometimes, the scariest traps are the ones hiding in plain sight. This terrifying experience in the possessed elevator shows how something as everyday as an elevator can turn into a nightmare. The elevator wasn't just a machine. It seemed alive, controlling their fate, trapping them between reality and something dark and unknown. Even after they escaped, the feeling of fear and mystery stayed with them, reminding us that sometimes the scariest dangers are right under our noses, hiding in plain sight. Be careful where you step, because some places hold secrets better left undiscovered.